Constructive dismissal. Constructive dismissal is not necessarily per se addressed in the LRA or in a code of good practice, but it basically comes down to an employer making your employment conditions so unbearable, that it sort of compels you to resign. And sometimes employers do that. They will construe your circumstances. Maybe they will target you in disciplinary procedures or start paying you late or not pay your full salary consistently, or maybe start abusing you, victimizing you, harassing you, construing your circumstances that sort of compels you to resign. So our laws and our courts sort of endorses the concept that you can constructively dismiss. But in order for the CCMA or the courts to have jurisdiction to deal with this kind of disputes, three elements must exist, okay? So the one is you must have resigned. So if you don't resign, then the CCMA, you're wasting your time, there will be no constructive dismissal. Secondly, your employment conditions must have been intolerable. Now, that is a bit of a caveat because what is intolerability? Nobody really knows. So that is part of case law that evolves over time, and we're going to go through some of these case laws just to give you an indication as to the threshold that relates to intolerability, because, and it's not a subjective opinion, because the reality of the matter is, I have seen cases where an employee don't qualify for a travel allowance because for whatever reason, and then the company stop paying, temporarily suspending the travel allowance. Now it's a constructive dismissal. No, it's not the company making your life intolerable. It's you that's full of nonsense, né? Nonsense. In Afrikaans, hulle sê nonsense. What nonsense? It's nonsense. Jy is vol nonsense, verstaan jy? So you must adhere and qualify in terms of the company's travel allowance policy, okay? Your boss not greeting you or swearing at you, that's not necessarily intolerable. You see, that may be difficult or tough, it may be unpleasant, but it's not necessarily intolerability. Now, keeping in mind that the legislator cannot allow a situation where an employee can just resign because of uneasiness at work or difficulty or a challenged workplace, that now you resign and therefore the courts will necessarily penalize the employer, because work life is tough.